When Jesus invited people to follow him, it involved changing the way people thought and behaved.
Nearly to the end.
Ooh, good.
Hope UK. Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, but I'm the answer. You're asking the questions. I have to answer them.
You're on the spot, yes. Hope UK was founded in the Victorian era, and that was an era that was very, very brutal for children and for many people, most people. But do you think there are any good things from the past that we've lost and could try to regain? You know, any values or any aspect of life back then that you think, well, that was a kind of good thing that they had, or
Nothing immediately comes to mind.
right.
But Hope UK is needed more now, I believe, than in 1847,
Right.
when the Band of Hope started.
Right.
And I'm very thankful that Hope UK is still going and is attracting committed, talented people to do drug education work in Britain because they care about people and want them to have a safer way of life.
Yes. And of course, as you say, by being volunteers, most of the work is done by volunteers. They are people who have no axe to grind. They've got no personal benefit to it, but just their own conviction.
Indeed, yes.
And that's important.
Yeah,
Though our staff are amazing as well, of course.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're very thankful to have committed staff and committed volunteers, and Hope UK needs more volunteers to do the important work of drug education, because prevention is better than cure, and so much of the damage caused by Britain's biggest drug problem, i.e. alcohol, cannot be cured. You know, when somebody is killed or maimed in a car accident because the driver was under the influence of alcohol, you know, those faculties are lost.
We can't get that life back.
No.
Yes.
So prevention is better than cure.
When you were a young man, you were walking around the West End of London on a Saturday night, were people drinking to the extent that they are now? You know, where there's a kind of ladette culture and people go out and get really, really drunk. I mean, were people a bit more civilized in the past, or is it just the same, really?
I suspect that people drink more now than they did
Right.
in the 1960s,
Right.
when I did go round Soho after the Westminster Hope Club meeting in Hope House on a Friday night. I think it was once a month.
My goodness.
We used to go to Soho to the coffee shops.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. And was it a nice buzz there? Was it fun?
Yeah, it was fun. Well, I was with my friends.
Of course.
I was a teenager. And
People must have been very stylish then. I mean, I think of the 60s as being really the height of elegance.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, do you think you might write a book about Hope UK one day?
I decided a few years ago that I've written my last book.
Right.
I've
fair
written
enough.
over 20 books on a variety of subjects, and I decided, as I say, a few years ago that I'm not going to write anymore.
Fair enough.
I'm going to enjoy my retirement. I enjoy doing woodwork, raising money for Hope UK's drug education work. And though I failed O-level woodwork in my awful boys' grammar school in Grimsby, where I suffered the 5 longest years of my life, I have raised over £5,500 for Hope UK's drug education work by doing woodwork.
Well, that's wonderful.
So many kids get written off at school, never achieve their potential. While I'm talking about the awful boys' grammar school in Grimsby, where I suffered the 5 longest years of my life, I need to tell you that in that school I dropped history at the end of the 3rd year because I came bottom of the class with history and got 29% in the exam and dropped it, hooray, hooray. I also failed O-level English language in that awful boys' grammar school in Grimsby, where I suffered the 5 longest years of my life. And most of the 20 plus books I have written and had published are on history.
Well, that says it all.
So many kids get written off at school, never achieve their potential. I thank God for the first boss I had when I came to London, Robert Taylor, General Secretary of the United Kingdom Band of Hope Union, which became Hope UK many years later. He taught me the art of writing and editing, and he was the best teacher I ever had.
Do you think your teachers at the awful grammar school, were they just a bit cynical? I mean, obviously they were not very good at engaging your interest, which is their job. Or were you just unhappy, or? Because it is such a strange turnaround that you didn't get on well at the school, but you're so accomplished now. I mean, you've as you say, you've used your history probably more than anyone else in your class.
They clearly didn't know how to motivate
Right.
an unmotivated pupil.
Right. No. Well, that's it. Some people, I suppose, just collect the money, don't they? They don't really. Well. Okay. Well, anyway, you've completely turned around the 5 longest years at the awful grammar school in Grimsby and written all these books and had a very interesting and a fulfilling career in your work and in drug education.
Well, what saddens me is so many people do not achieve their potential
Right.
when they're at school and don't after they've left school. And I thank God for Robert Taylor, who was the best teacher I ever had.
And how did he motivate you? I mean, how did he inspire you?
Well, he was an author, an editor, and he saw potential in me that no one in my awful boys' grammar school saw.
Right.
Not that they had any cause to see any potential in me in my
Well,
awful
everybody
boys'
has some potential.
Well, but Robert Taylor did, and he was the best teacher I ever had.
Well, that's wonderful. I'll be sure to look up some of his writings. So thank you so much, John, for being interviewed, and thank you for your insights. That's been really, thank you for Hope UK Films and Hope UK YouTube channel.
Well, I've enjoyed this experience, and keep up the very good work you're doing for Hope UK.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.